So, the Utah Jazz are shocking the NBA. Coming into the season, most people expected them to tank after dealing away some key players, but led by Lauri Markkanen and head coach Will Hardy, they're 10-3, number 1 in the Western Conference. And in particular, their offense has stood out to me. They have the number 2 offense in the league, and today we're going to be talking about how they're doing it. It's good to be back, guys, and let's get to it. It all starts with their three-point shooting and spacing. They're making 15 threes per game right now, 3rd in the NBA, and they shoot a high percentage, and they like to hunt these threes in transition, and here Jordan Clarkson hits one. They do a great job of having whoever grabs the defensive rebound, that's who takes off and leads the break. Here it's their big Jared Vanderbilt, and he's taking off, he's looking to push, and he gets the ball up the court quickly, and they score in transition. This is a coaching thing, but it also has to do with personnel. The Jazz have the luxury of having 5 guys in their starting lineup who can handle and pass and lead the break. And here Olynyk will grab and go, and he finds Jordan Clarkson for a transition 3. And in the half court, their shooting of course helps their spacing. For instance here, Conley comes off the pick and roll and looks to drive, and because Beasley is on the wing, his shooting gravity keeps Hunter off of the foul line and opens up a gap for Conley to drive through. They also play 5 out, even with Jared Vanderbilt, who's generally regarded as a non-shooter. They'll often put him in the corner, and here that keeps his defender out of the paint and frees up Markkanen on the curl. In the playoffs, teams may just not guard Vanderbilt, but in the regular season, stuff like this still happens. He catches it in the corner here, and Trae Young makes the mistake by rotating over to him, and Vanderbilt can just swing it. And this partly works because he is shooting 6 of 12 from 3 to start the season. That's on a very low volume, he only takes about 1 per game, but this is a good start. If he can hit that corner 3 consistently, that'll really complement his other offensive skills. And when they take Vanderbilt and rookie center Walker Kessler off the court, they can play true 5 out and just have their bigs be Markkanen and Olynyk. This duo won't be making the all-defense teams, but at least they have the size to rebound and defend, and then on offense, they can spread the court as they're both good shooters. And so the Jazz can play with great spacing without sacrificing much size. And in 187 minutes without Vanderbilt or a true center on the floor, the Jazz have a terrific 123 offensive rating playing with all this space, and they're also plus 13 overall per 100 possessions. And playing 5 shooters makes it really difficult for slow-footed bigs to defend. So here, Valanciunas has to guard Olynyk, and so the Jazz can just put Valanciunas in the pick and pop and exploit his foot speed on the closeout. Moving on, and the Jazz also really effectively use off-ball screens. In terms of possessions used per game using off-ball screens, not surprisingly, the Warriors are number 1 as they set a lot of off-ball screens for Curry and Klay. And the Jazz are number 2, and they're also number 2 in terms of off-ball screen efficiency. And so they're gaining a lot of value using off-ball screens. They like these basic wide pin downs for Markkanen, and here it's Conley, a guard, setting the screen for the 7-footer. And when the defender shoots the gap, Markkanen hits a 3. We can see why this is a tough play to guard. Here Batum fights over the top, so Markkanen curls it, but Sexton is setting that screen, a guard. So now that help defender is John Wall, and Markkanen just has too much size there, and he's going to finish over the top. Usually it's the other way around, with a guard curling it and trying to finish over a big. But I like what the Jazz are doing here by inverting it and taking advantage of Markkanen's skill set on the curl. Here the Lakers just switch the pin down, but now Markkanen can attack Conley's defender on the switch and use that 5-out spacing to his advantage. But the player who leads the Jazz in points off of off-ball screens is Jordan Clarkson, who has the ability to come off screens and shoot. And here's this wide pin down again. this time for Clarkson, and they'll set this with an open side, meaning when Clarkson comes off the screen, it's him and Kessler on one side of the court. There's no one in that corner. So now, when Kessler rolls, that big knows he doesn't have a lot of help, and so when he backs off, Clarkson gets the floater. They also really like flare screens. They set 7 per game, which is second in the NBA, and they'll use these during set plays. So here, for instance, Vanderbilt comes towards the ball with the flare Beasley. This is a flare screen right here, and it gets Beasley open for a 3. They're efficient using flare screens, and here is again a set play to free up Beasley on the flare screen. I also like how their bigs will set flare screens in the flow of the offense to free up the guards. So here, for instance, Kessler notices Covington is sagged off his man, so he'll set a flare to free up Horton Tucker just like that. Let's talk about the analytics component, because the Jazz do a lot of things that the numbers would agree with. For instance, they have an 8% mid-range rate, which is 29th in the NBA, meaning they don't take a lot of mid-range shots, and of course they love the 3-ball. A lot of this is a carryover from the Quinn Snyder era, as last year they weren't taking a lot of mid-range shots either. Someone like Clarkson has really decreased his mid-range rate over the years, and so now, coming off a handoff, he's not taking that long 2, but he's taking the pull-up 3 instead, which is the more efficient shot. Sexton is an example of a newcomer who isn't taking many long 2s either. Here's a clip from last year with Cleveland, where he comes off the pick and roll, and this isn't a great shot to take that long 2. But this year, he has the lowest mid-range rate of his career, and he's doing a really good job of attacking the basket and drawing fouls. Here versus drop coverage, the defense wants him to take the long 2, but notice how he's patient and instead attacks the rim. The Jazz also have the 6th highest offensive rebound rate in the league. And if there's one thing I learned working for an analytics department in the NBA, it's that in most cases, the numbers support crashing the glass. That the benefit of second chance points usually outweighs the downside of giving up points in transition off of a miss. Whether analytically driven or not, the Jazz really attack the glass, and here's an example where they use all 3 of their bigs, Olynyk, Markkanen, and Vanderbilt, to crash and create a second chance. It's not uncommon for them to send 3 players to the glass, and they also seem to encourage their guards to crash too. And here Sexton crashes, and he's one of the best offensive rebounders for a guard. They also do a tremendous job of rebounding versus the switch. So here, for instance, the Lakers switch the ball screen, but Vanderbilt isn't looking to pop. He's looking to roll to catch a pass, but even when he doesn't get it, now he's in position to attack the small on the glass, and here he draws a loose ball foul. And this stood out to me because typically when you optimize spacing and play 5 out at times, it's really hard to also offensive rebound, right? So here, for instance, if the shot went up, the Jazz just wouldn't be in very good position to rebound. But the Jazz have good size, and I like how they use it here on the switch. As Olynyk rolls to the basket, he's now in position to exploit his mismatch on the glass. And at times, the Jazz will roll and cut to create other opportunities, even if it means they're no longer 5 out. And so here, Olynyk versus the switch will roll, and he's in the way. His man is right in the paint. But here, on Clarkson's drive, he does a nice job of sealing off the defender, and it's a layup. What's up, guys? I hope you enjoyed the video, and it's been a while. It's been about 2 years, as for the last 2 seasons I was working in the Dallas Mavericks analytics department, and it was a great experience. I learned a lot, met a lot of great people. I'm no longer there now, and right now I'm sort of preoccupied doing some other stuff, so I'm not sure how often I'll be uploading videos on this channel, but I wanted to check in, and I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for watching.